The NSC investigation team denied the request submitted by the leader of the party pending registration Alga, Vladimir Kozlov, and his lawyer Alexei Plugov to extend the time allocated for studying of the criminal case materials. On Wednesday, Kozlov declined to sign the protocol acknowledging his familiarization with the case materials due to insufficient time, which expired on August 8th. One day prior, Kozlov and his lawyer filed a petition asking the NSC for additional time. Now the defense will take their appeal to the regional prosecutor's office. The leader of Alga party, Vladimir Kozlov, was arrested on January 24, 2012, on charges of inciting social hatred, establishing an organized crime group, and attempting to overthrow the constitutional order. We were studying video and audio evidence attached to the criminal case with the familiarization process duly scheduled. Vladimir Kozlov has not signed the protocol of familiarization because he did not complete studying them. Therefore, he filed an application requesting additional time to review case materials addressed to the head of the investigation team. Human rights activist Kalim Ageliuov appealed to the Prosecutor General's office in regards to the article published by the website Respublika concerning Muslim graves found at the Orthodox cemetery in Aktau. The public activist believes that people buried there could be residents of Zhanaozen massacred during the riots on December 16, 2011. At least one such instance has been already confirmed by a victim's family, which proceeded to locate the grave and remove the body. The public activist says the reason why Zhanaozen residents keep quiet about this is because they are terrified and are afraid to attract attention of the police. Ageliuov himself does not expect a formal response. After all, the authorities have ignored all allegations of torture applied to Zhanaozen residents during the pre-trial investigation. The human rights activist still believes that the story should gain wider publicity and the population must speak up on the matter. Officially, only 16 people were reported dead and 97 others wounded during last year's riots in Zhanaozen. Unofficial sources, however, claimed there were hundreds of dead on the Intimak Square on that fateful day. I hope the Prosecutor General's office will respond and tell us comprehensively and objectively who was buried there and how many people were actually killed. I hope they will look into the article as well as all reports about tortures. On August 8th, the scandalous head of Atan Kazakhstan movement, Amantai Kaji, held its traditional annual anti-nuclear campaign. This time, the organization leader had two issues on the agenda. Along with his supporters, Kaji protested against the construction of nuclear plants and nuclear waste disposal in Kazakhstan. The action drew support of a few people who chanted slogans together with the activists, who included people with disabilities, the victims of the Semipalatinsk test site. We are absolutely against nuclear testing and nuclear weapons on the territory of Kazakhstan. Moreover, we are against hosting nuclear waste of European states and America, who are actually responsible for the tragedies. The president is making a big mistake because it is the land of Kazakhs who fought for it and left it to future generations. Furthermore, the construction of a nuclear plant in Kazakhstan is just a crime. The action also attracted attention of the city administration and the National Security Agency. As usual, the law enforcement officials found it necessary to inform the protesters that their rally was not sanctioned and is thus illegal. According to the Kazakhstan law on peaceful assembly, you have to inform the local administration in written form about the upcoming demonstration beforehand. Otherwise, the assembly could be considered illegal. Why are you telling this only to me, as if there are no other people here? Please step away. Settlement SMP 24 on the outskirts of Astana is very similar to the infamous rebellious micro-district Shanorak. Just like in Almaty, locals built their homes here without permission back in 2007. Now all owners of 40 houses are threatened with eviction and demolition. On Thursday, a real battle broke out at the scene when bailiffs accompanied by law enforcement officials arrived with a view to demolish one of the houses. On their part, villagers have literally blocked the entrances to the premise with their bodies to not let the bulldozer pass. Bailiffs attempted to calm down the crowd and explained that settlement residents are actually breaking the law. Yergazi Umirgaliyev was repeatedly informed about the court's decision, which requires him to clear the land of his property. However, up to this day, he hasn't voluntarily executed the court's decision. Villagers strongly oppose the court ruling and are preparing to file complaints to various authorities and even threaten to contact the United Nations. People also want to find out who is interested in getting the ownership of the land. They complained that despite the legalization process announced last year, their request for the registration of land properties remained unanswered, while people have nowhere else to go. It was my last chance to save my house. When I was building it, I knew that I was breaking the law. I thought that I would be able to legalize it in the court later, but I failed. At the Thursday meeting with governors of Akmala, Kostanay, Pavlodar, and North Kazakhstan regions, the president recommended officials to effectively use the opportunities to increase the fodder supply. The head of state noted that the amount of harvested hay is still insufficient. Thus, Akmala and Pavlodar reserves make up only 64% and 67% of the projected needs, respectively. Nursultan Nazarbayev also remained dissatisfied with the reported load of grain processing enterprises. Out of thousands of enterprises, only a third is loaded appropriately. Why did we build them then? The government, along with the governors, must ensure that the enterprises are fully loaded. Last year, I ordered to procure 18-month supply of grain. Therefore, I believe there should be no problem in this regard. The unusual project called I Have the Skill and I Want to Share It kicked off in Almaty on Thursday. The idea of organizers was to let anyone with a hobby, for instance playing music or sewing, not only demonstrate their talents to others, but also to teach the skill. Oleg Boldarev always wanted to learn how to play the dombra, and the project seems to be the perfect opportunity. Kazakh culture is a consolidating core in Kazakhstan, uniting all people. I decided to find out for myself what it means to play the dombra. I am very curious, therefore I will start practicing from now on. The Almaty medalist in needlework, Akmaral Timirkalieva, is here to share her talents and will be selecting apprentices carefully. The hobby isn't for everyone, she says, as one needs to have a great deal of patience. Akmaral herself spent 9 months over her best work, choosing the image of a horse as symbol of Kazakh people. Kazakhs have 7 treasures, and this horse is one of them because it symbolizes the freedom of spirit. It means a lot for us, as we are free people. The reason I like beaded patterns is because I cannot draw, but I can create something with my hands. It feels good. Kazakhstan athlete Marina Volnova won the 2nd bronze medal at the Olympics for the national team. The boxer was awarded bronze after defeating Britain's Savannah Marshall with a noticeable advantage. Volnova could have ended up with silver, but lost in the semifinals to a 17-year-old American Clarissa Mary Shields, 29-15. Nevertheless, Volnova became the first female boxing Olympics medalist in the history of Kazakhstan. In the meantime, Adilbek Niazimbetov reached the semifinals by defeating Ehsan Ruzbakhani in the 81-kilo weight category. His next opponent will be Ukrainian athlete Alexander Gvozdik. Serik Sapiev and Ivan Dichko reached the semifinals as well, unlike Birjan Jakupov and Daniyar Yeleusinov, who will leave London without medals.